and welcome to Liquid Lunch. I am here, Sandra, with
Johnny Smash.
Johnny Smash.
And Hugh's in the studio also.
We have to do the Where's Hugh? You know Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
We have to do the Where's Hugh. We'll find him somewhere. He'll be here a little later on, right?
Is there a reward?
You know what, there could be.
Good. I think there should be some incentive.
You know, I don't know, then people aren't going to want to look for him.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding, Hugh, wherever you are.
Hugh's #1.
Today is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013, day after Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Smash.
Oh, I was sleeping
Earth
yesterday.
Day.
Sorry, I had a long night.
God.
Well, the lights were out if I was sleeping, so I did my part.
You did. You did.
I did my part.
You did. Okay.
And what was the day before Earth Day?
Pre-Earth Day.
420?
Yeah. No, 21, because Earth Day is 22nd.
Okay.
So just before we go, okay, before we move on to our topics, I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the major thing that happened yesterday on Earth Day, because even though Hugh's not here, I know he'd want to talk about it, and Hugh will be here. The movie premiere of the show called Sirius.
Okay.
Sirius, spelled S-I-R-I-U-S, is about extraterrestrial life and going public with extraterrestrial life, ETs, on the planet.
Right.
So very, very cool. It was very well received, and it's the most publicly funded film online. So guys, you might want to check it out. It's an amazing show.
Sirius.
Yeah, Sirius is actually a planet. It's a star system, or Sirius A, and Sirius B.
Yeah, series of planets. Yeah, cool.
So basically, the Stephen Greer is the chief behind this whole thing, the chief organizer, and he was talking about the government and they're hiding all of this stuff, so the people are going to bring it out. And basically, he's saying the reason the government wants to hold it back is because of propulsion energy and free energy and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And of course, the government loses everything.
Yeah, they want to control all our minerals.
Exactly.
And right.
Exactly.
But are they in the government? Like, is extraterrestrials like part of our government? Do you think? Like, do they make decisions?
I think extraterrestrials. Well, a lot of people say government is working with ETs.
Oh, I hear a lot of people say that. I hear a lot of people say that we're actually inbred. Do you believe in that? Like that there's like reptilian people, or we're not really humans in the sense how we would traditionally take the term human?
There's a lot of people that believe that. Do I believe that? Yeah, actually, I think there's some truth to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually, Hugh and I talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and yeah, I think there's a lot of statistics and evidence now coming up that are showing a lot of that. And actually, even Stephen Greer apparently in the show has an actual real alien. A little alien that was found. And this is a guy, he's Dr. Stephen Greer. He's a former emergency medical doctor.
So you say he has credentials?
Absolutely.
He's believable.
Yes, and there's actually a citizens' hearing on UFO disclosure happening on April 29th through May 5th in Washington, D.C. at the National Press Conference. Ex-agents, congressmen, senators are all coming forward and speaking about what they know. So anyway, I think the time is ripe for that. So I just had to mention that because that was really significant with Earth Day. They released it yesterday on purpose. Oh, so very significant. But you know what? We have some amazing guests today.
Right.
Do you want to go through them, Johnny Smash, or do you want me to go through?
Just leave it to you, ladies first.
Okay. Yeah. But your seat is higher.
Oh, no. It's all just a perception. Okay. It's just like the UFOs, because technically a UFO is an unidentified flying object.
You got it.
So are they aliens or just something that's unidentified?
You know what? I think I want to get sunglasses next time.
You think you should?
Yeah, okay. So we have Donna Kakonge coming on. Donna Kakonge's got her new book, and it's How to Talk to Crazy People. We're going to talk to her about that. We've got Vincent Pace, not to be confused with Vincent Price, which you probably get that all the time.
Right.
Who is?
Spirit medium.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting.
I want to talk to him.
I know, that's going to be very exciting.
I want him to convey some spirits over here to me.
Well, maybe he can bring maybe it's some of the ETs.
There you go.
Maybe he's part of that whole Sirius release. Then we have Stephen Clarke, who is a network marketing guy. He's going to be talking to us about all about network marketing.
So all the business people, all the artists out there, you need to tune in, because it's about network marketing that's so essential to your livity now.
Yes. Especially people who are going independent and entrepreneurs and that kind of thing. Network marketing is really, I think that can make or break somebody.
And then we have Shawn Dalton.
Shawn Dalton, once again, I call him Mr. Passion. Last time he talked about the death of Canadian bilingualism, and we're going to be continuing that.
Yeah, and I seen talking to him before, and I'm really interested in this topic, and I don't want bilingualism to die. I think that makes us unique in Canada, and I think we all need to get along.
Well, I think we do too. I think it opens up a whole can of worms.
And did you realize that most people, like a lot of people, we speak English, but it's not their predominant language. If you were to go, let's say, Europe or Asia or whatever, the first language that you probably communicate is not in English, but French.
Yes.
So we should be proud of our heritage and our culture and our uniqueness.
Well, you know, you can debate that one with Shawn.
No, whatever Shawn says, I agree. I seen him on the show before. Thumbs up from Johnny Smash.
Yeah, he's a very passionate guy. I really think he should go into politics. Actually.
And who happens to be this young lady here?
We have
Chanilleza. I stole those words out of your mouth anyways.
Okay.
And she's, just to let you know, she is a Whitby finalist for Idol, and she's very talented. I've actually had the experience of seeing her at Catch a Fire, which is a monthly artist showcase, and I was so impressed that I had to bring her on the show.
Wow.
But her talents alone bring her on the show. It's not because of Johnny Smash.
No, actually we heard her. You sound great in rehearsal. So welcome, Chanilleza.
Thank you.
Is that your real last name, Za?
No.
Okay.
I actually, my name's Chanille Blair, but I go by Chanilleza, yes.
Where did the Za come from? Where did you get this inspiration?
Great story. Actually, when I was in school, I think maybe grade 10, grade 11, you know how kids come up with like their own kind of words and whatnot, right? I like to say za at the end of like everything I say. So like whenever I was like, wowza, so everybody was like, Chanilleza.
Oh,
so
cute.
There it is.
Okay, great.
That's great.
So we talk about the beginning of the name, but what's the real origin of your story? Because I see you with a guitar. I know that you have a musical background in your family. Where did it start from? Did you just pick up the guitar? Were you always into music? Were you forced into, like, you have some people like, my kid's gonna take this, my kid's gonna take that. How did it work for you?
My parents were like, you have to sing. So no, I'm totally kidding. No, my mom's a singer, so
and a great one. Heard her back. She's amazing.
So whenever I was a kid, she would always sing to me, right? I got a little older and I started realizing that I actually do have a talent with this, and I realized can't do anything else but sing, so I wanted to pursue my dreams. And
so do you play any other instruments other than the guitar?
No, just the guitar. I know a little bit of piano things on the piano, like Twinkle Twinkle a Star maybe, but that's about it.
But you know what I think is really cool? A lot of young artists do not play instruments, they just sing. And not that I shouldn't say just singing, but they're a soul singer. That is the only thing that they do. It's really nice to see that you can do, the whole Sheryl Crow thing, I guess,
Yeah, it's really fun. I get to write my own songs. So.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You get to write your own songs. You also get to do one more thing on stage, too. Do you play on stage as well?
Oh, yes, I do. It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, so that's, I think it really adds a whole nother element, because now you can do the two things, right? There are probably times when you're just singing, or do you always have the guitar with you?
I usually always have my guitar with me because it's more my style, but I do sometimes just the singing and like the full-on performance, going all out kind of thing,
Well, the guitar sometimes can be an obstacle too, right? If you want to connect with the audience and you want to walk around the stage and move around, you can't do that when you have the guitar, right?
Yeah, that's what I find. It's a little hard. Well, at first it was harder to deal with because I was just getting out into the field, doing the singing and playing the guitar. So now that I have a little bit more experience, I'm learning how to actually use my facial expressions to connect with the audience, because I can't really like stop playing my guitar and like, hello everybody, right? No, I gotta use the facial expressions, the eyes, like the smiling, all that fun stuff. So
once you get bigger, and then you will be going back and forth a little more, probably be playing with the audience a lot more. So you probably will be doing a lot of stuff without the guitar.
I definitely think so, because once I have my original songs too, I'll have my tracks in the background and I'll have my bands to help me out. So excited for that.
Wow. So go ahead.
Well, I just got a signal from somebody that we're supposed to be looking for, right? So I got the ins if there's a reward for Hugh Riley.
Okay.
What we're going to do is cut the chit-chat and let the music talk. So do you mind if you can give us a sample of your wonderful music?
Of course.
So what song are we doing?
I'm going to do a cover called Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood.
All right. Sweater
Weather. It's one of my
Weather.
favorite songs, so.
Let's hope it's not sweater weather, though.
Oh, no, we just got out of sweater weather. So.
Yes. Goodbye, sweater weather.
Everybody loves some sweater weather. But here it is.
Okay.
All I am sweater. Let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity center. Touch my neck, and I'll touch yours. I'm in my little high-waisted shorts. Oh, he knows what I think about. And what I think about. One love, 2 mouths. One love, 1 house. No shirt, no blouse. Just us, you find out. Nothing that I really want to tell you about. No, it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes. And if I may just take your breath away, I don't mind if it's not much to say. Sometimes the silence guides the mind to move to a place so far away. The goosebumps start to race the minute that my left hand meets your waist. Then I watch your face, put my finger on your tongue cause you love the taste, yeah. These hearts adore everyone the other beats hardest for. Inside this place is warm, outside it starts to pour. Coming down, 1 love, 2 mouths. 1 love, 1 house. No shirt, no blouse. Just us, you find out. Nothing that I really want to tell you about. No, 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 it's too cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. Cold for you here and now. So let me hold both your hands in the holes of a sweater. It's too cold, it's too cold, the holes of a sweater.
Thank you. Nice job.
She's a winner. She's a winner. She's a winner. She's a winner.
Nice job.
Wonderful performance. Wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit about the Idol thing.
Okay.
So what's that all about? And
Whitby Idol, it's pretty much just a thing for like all the kids, 12 I think to 18
Okay.
in Whitby. Pretty much just come out, sing if you can rap, sing those fun stuff. It's just a random thing they do every year. I don't know. My mom came to me with it. I knew about it before, but I wasn't really too into it. And then she
Okay.
came to me and she's like, "You should really try this." And I was like, "Oh, not a problem. Let's do it." And I decided to do it. It was my last year to do it anyways too, so I was like, might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question, and you sort of answered the way your attitude is, because a lot of people, they win stuff. Some people, they don't care. Other people, it's like that's their feather in their cap. Did you go into that event, and is your attitude when you hit the stage that I'm a winner and this is my destiny, or are you more relaxed and think that, okay, whatever happens, happens? Can I get your feelings on that?
Well, because it was Whitby Idol and I knew what it was about, I knew that there wasn't going to be a winner. It was just going to be a bunch of finalists.
Right.
And I was fine with that because the way I am, I'm a musician. So I feel like if you're truly a musician, you'll really appreciate other musicians.
Right.
And that's how I am. When I'm in my vocal class and I hear those people who can sing, I cry. So when I was doing Whitby Idol, I was more just really appreciating the fact that I had the opportunity to perform with a bunch of other young children with such amazing talents, because I was like, well, I'm not the only one, and look at all these kids we got in our town. So yeah, it wasn't really a whole I'm the winner here kind of thing. It was more
So you're a team player.
Yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely. And there's no winner? Is that how that works?
No
It's
winner.
like it's a finalist, and then they guess they do promotions. But in my eyes, she's a winner. Any which way. Where do you get? You did a couple of cover songs. I know you do original.
Yes.
I seen a video of you, and it looks like you're in your living room or your bedroom. Where do you find your inspiration from? And is there like a particular room in the house that you go to get inspired?
My bedroom. I love my bedroom.
And
That
the
is my
reasons
zone.
why where do you get the inspiration from?
Well, it's more just my zone. I like to write songs when I'm in my room by myself with the door closed. I have like a lot of inspirational things around my walls and all that stuff, things to keep me motivated. And it's just because it's my room, those teenage girl rooms, my privacy kind of thing. So yeah.
Cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, because I actually know your parents, and I know their background, and I know that you come from a musical family. So
oh yeah.
The Canadian public wants to know, because I have my own personal questions, but the Canadian public wants to know: is this a blessing or is this a curse?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Tough one.
I'd say it's a blessing and a curse. but not really a curse. Because
just tough on you, kind of?
It's just tough sometimes, yeah. But then again, one of the quotes from one of my favorite movies, A League of Their Own, if it wasn't hard, everyone would do it, right?
Right.
So if I'm good at this, I have to realize that things are going to be hard sometimes, and if I truly want to do it, I have to push through the hard times and just get through it all. So.
Right. And where do you see your career or your destiny? Do you want to make, I know you want to make an impact on the music, but is there any social issues that you want to make an impact? Like maybe, like, you know, you have some artists, they're part of this organization, etc. Is there something that in your heart or that your mind that you feel very strong about?
I feel very strong about keeping things myself. I don't really want to go into the industry and be changed, and that's usually what happens. And well, from my perspective, I can't really say that it's what the artists want to do or not, but I personally feel like if I want to do something, I don't want to be changed and forced into doing something that I don't want to do. So I want to be liked for what I do. I don't want people to try and change me. If you like me, then that's what I do.
So you want to stay true to who you are.
True to myself.
Excellent.
What do you like to write about, Chanilleza?
A lot of things. I usually write a lot about being okay. I'm a teenager, so I know that it's really hard being a teenager in high school and all that stuff. All the songs that I write, I really want to get across to the kids that are teens and that have hard times that you're going to be okay. It's just a small part in your life where things are bad and you'll be better.
So you'd say it's more positive?
More positive, yeah.
It's interesting because I don't remember being that wise when I was 18.
Yeah. You seem to be very ahead of your age.
Yeah,
and
I just
your
want to
maturity.
keep the mindset on all the good things instead of the bad things, because that's what a lot of people do. They like to dwell on all the sad stuff. And
yes,
what
and there's a lot of that.
Do is stay positive.
Yeah, and there is a lot of that. So it's tough because there seems to be more negativity in the news than there is positive. So do you find that a challenge for you? Do you find that it's a responsibility, or you're a role model in some ways, especially if you're because you're getting towards the end of your teens, and if you're looking to say give this message out to younger teens, do you find that that's kind of like a responsibility?
Yeah, I take it as a responsibility on myself because that I want to go into the music field. I feel like it is my responsibility to come out with songs that are going to help people. I'm not just going to come out with songs that no one's going to be interested in, right? So if I'm going to have a purpose, I think my purpose would be to help other people.
Beautiful. Now, just before we go, because we only have a minute left, some of your inspirations and your, I guess, idols, who would they be? Who are you?
I like the powerhouses of the music industry, like Demi Lovato, Whitney Houston, Christina Aguilera.
Wow.
But what a lot of people don't know is I love the rock genre and post-hardcore and alternative metal and all that stuff. So Johnny Craig is my idol. I love him. I absolutely love him. Oh,
wow.
Goodness. And rock bands. They
like
me.
rock bands like who?
Emarosa, Dance Gavin Dance, Pierce the Veil. I could go on for days.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
I love Warped Tour and all that stuff. The moshing, that's my life.
Wow. So when you have a full band, is that what we're going to see? Some more of that,
maybe,
or more of the Whitney Houston stuff? Because there's a bit of a difference there.
Well, the way my voice is, I can sing really anything, but what my style is more soft rock, kind of alternative-y acoustic stuff. So when I do have a full band, maybe I'll come out with a harder song because that's what I like to do.
Nice.
We don't know yet.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for.
you.
So, what's next for you? Or did you have a website? Do you have any contact information?
Yes, I do. You can check me out on YouTube, Chanilleza Music, and my Facebook is Chanilleza Music as well.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Beautiful.
so we're gonna. If I have one moment, please. Coming back to Sandra's question, and I really wanted to ask you this question because I had an incident happen to me the other day on Facebook, and it was about a gentleman by the name of Paul Robeson, and Paul Robeson was one of my heroes along with Bob Marley. And a lot of people say, well, Bob Marley's a hero because he does music, but Bob Marley is my hero because he refused to get his toe amputated. So Bob Marley died for what he believed in. Paul Robeson was not only an artist, he appeared on stage as an actor. He was doing Shakespeare. He was a political activist, and he was also an athlete. And he was doing it at times when black people weren't exactly accepted in the theater. They had to come through the back door. And there was a time they called the Harlem Renaissance, and he was very instrumental in this. Do you have a hero? And you also spoke about your favorite group, Emarosa?
Emarosa.
Right.
Yeah.
how are you going to get your niche in the market, get your name out? And is there a particular hero that you like that might be music or away from music? Is there somebody that you look up to? Is there, like, do you try to emulate Joan of Arc or maybe Mother Teresa, for just to give you an example?
Well, I'm going to go back to Johnny Craig. I did say him for Ethan. He's not just my hero because his voice is so amazing for what he does. He had a lot of struggles in his life, and he's been picked on because of those struggles, drug addictions, this and that, scamming his own fans. But
Wow.
the reason I love him is because he knows that he's messed up, and he knows that he wants to be in this music industry to make other people's lives better, because he knows that these songs are what help people, like they've helped me. So
wow,
very interesting perspective.
Yes, I think the world needs more people like you.
A drug addict who scams their fans, right? Other than me.
But you know what? At least he's true to himself,
Exactly.
right? Which is, I mean, you'd rather that than somebody pretend.
And he's always stayed positive.
He
He knew he wanted help, and he got his way out. He's all clean now, so I love him.
Awesome.
Great. It was a pleasure having you. We're going to outro with a song from Chanilleza right now. And look out for her. She's a winner all day.
Who are we coming back with? I think Donna. Is Donna next? Donna Kakonge?
Yes.
And did we find Hugh? Is Hugh coming back?
Still a mystery.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you. You're more than welcome.
Awesome.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Chanilleza.
Thank you, Chanilleza.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Running back to you. Okay, we're back on the show. We're back on the show.
That is just hilarious.
Okay, Donna Kakonge is joining us.
Looking
Donna.
smashing as usual. Donna,
Thank you.
don't get too skinny on us here, honey.
No, I really, the doctor won't let me.
Why not?
Yeah, I shouldn't be too skinny. I shouldn't be too
You look
skinny.
Marvelous.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I noticed
Thank
it as soon as you came in today, Donna.
Thank
You're
you.
looking
Oh,
great.
Hugh, you're turning me
What?
on.
Really?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, maybe I will leave. I'll just go hang out with Johnny Smash over there.
We can't film this stuff, Sandra.
This is a lot like the topic we had
The camera.
What topic?
in class. Sex in 5D.
Okay, we're here. Okay, Donna, let's.
Sex in 5D.
Don't get Donna going.
Well, you know what? That's the sequel to her next book, right? That'll be the next book.
You write about sex, as I said, and it sells. 50 Shades of Grey.
So, would you write a book about sex, Donna? Would that be one of your topics?
I know whether I may have to wait until my nieces get older.
Well, you know what? That's actually what's really going on in the book that she has. It's called How to Talk to Crazy People. It's really about sex, right? Because that's what you do.
There is some sex in there. Yeah, there is some sex
What page?
in there. Yeah. Have you read it? Yeah, this is the question.
Of course I read it, Donna. I just don't remember those scenes.
Well, there is kind of like some sexual intrigue and like it's fairly clean, but you know, it's a general audience. A few swear words, you know, to pepper the whole thing. And
so is this X-rated? Is your book X-rated?
It's definitely not X-rated.
Okay.
Actually, I haven't ever done an X-rated book, and yet in my heart of hearts, I actually really do want to do erotica. I'm a typical 40-year-old woman that would love to write erotica.
Okay. Well, you know what? I don't know if your publisher would be okay with that. But you may have to look for another publisher.
I would love to write all my sexual fantasies and just like, you know.
Okay, well, let's get a head start on that, Donna.
or maybe we need to just talk about.
Harlequin does so well. That's why Harlequin, the publisher Harlequin, does so well. Those are a bunch of women actually getting paid to write their sexual fantasies. It's a brilliant idea.
So you know what? All you have to do is use a ghostwriter name, Donna.
Now that's what I'd have to do. Use a different name. I think that would be best.
I don't think any of those authors on Harlequin use their real name.
No, it's probably wise they don't. And Harlequin's kind of is very pedestrian compared to some of the other stuff that potentially could be out there. Like I used to read like Jackie Collins and Daniel Steele was good, but Daniel Steele is very romance, and I do love romance. I love romance. Jackie Collins was like intrigue, was like power, money, romance, sex. I mean,
she did the whole thing.
Fabulous, man. And then, like, that's the kind of stuff miniseries, 80s miniseries were made of. You know?
Wow.
Lucky Santangelo. Like, there's got to be some people out there who know who I'm talking about.
Okay, so now fast forward 30 years. What would the miniseries be about now? ETs, aliens?
My goodness, probably downsizing a business, you know? You know,
that doesn't sound like too much fun to me.
You know, Lucky getting divorced. You know,
Desperate
my
Housewives.
goodness. You know, trying to that Desperate Housewives kind of stuff. Yeah. You know,
or the
really,
Real Sex in the City.
I mean, in the '80s, it was like, you know, big homes, big cars. Everything was extra larger than life, right? You know,
yes, that's true.
I know what it's going to be. It's going to be, you know, the day-to-day life in a FEMA camp.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's going to be.
Exactly.
Reality TV.
Exactly. Reality TV. Exactly.
And then they get rescued by the aliens.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It'll be very pedestrian.
Okay, Donna. So listen, okay, so let's get to the heart of the matter. We don't have a lot of time. I know you got to be at Oisey.
Yeah, I got like
you have to be at Oisey.
Here. Okay, 4 minutes. Yeah.
You got some events coming up? Let's talk about that.
So yeah, I got some events coming up. So by the grace of God, I'm going to be at Indigo April 27th, the Dean Center.
Just over there.
Yeah.
Just over there.
awesome.
1 to 6 or 1 to 5, something like that.
What? What day?
Definitely. Just the Saturday coming up.
Oh.
This Saturday coming up, I'm going to be there, and
signing your book.
I'll be signing my book.
This book right here.
Yeah.
How to Talk to Crazy People.
That's the back of it.
Okay. Yeah.
See,
yeah. It's got another cover to it as well, but that's.
I know this is one version of it.
You know what?
That's one version of it.
Should be doing the back of the book first. Right? Because that would be perfect for a crazy person. Right?
Well, the great thing I
idea.
love about the cover is that you really almost can see it easily from the back to the front. Like,
yeah.
you know,
it's
kind of like, yeah.
But it's
just too bad it's not translated in Mandarin.
You could make it upside down, that way George Bush could read it.
That's hilarious. I really appreciate that joke. Thank you.
And he might be at the Eaton Center this Saturday.
He may be.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, my goodness! I was like, I gotta cancel. No. So it's like, no. But no. I'll be there from 1 to 5 for sure. I think it may be 6 or something like that. But around that time, I think stores actually close 6 or 5. So it's like in the afternoon, basically at Indigo, and then I also have a course that I'm doing that we need to reach quorum by tomorrow, folks. Okay, so and it's self-publishing around the world with University of Toronto School of Continuing Studies, and it starts May 2nd, and that's from 7 to 9, and it's 10 weeks. So it starts May 2nd, then it goes until July 4th. So hopefully we can get as many people as possible signing up for that course. If you have a burning book desire, I don't care what you want to write about. It could be about pets, it could be about computers, it could be about planes, whatever you want to write about. So and travel, anything. So and you have a chance to work on your manuscript. So and then let's see, where are we here? Every Sunday I'm at Accents on Eglinton Bookstore doing a Meet the Author from 3 to 5 on Sundays from 3 to 5. Meet the Author, and then on May 26th, I will be at Knowledge Bookstore in Brampton, and that will be from 2 to 4. Then on May 30th, I'm at Indigo Bookstore again, but this time at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Wow.
And that's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
That's wonderful.
So those are the upcoming events. That brings us till June.
And so every Sunday you're on Accents on Eglinton? Every Sunday?
Every Sunday I'll be at Accents on Eglinton.
And where is that?
And it's at Dufferin and Eglinton, 1790 Eglinton Avenue West.
That's where your book launch was. I was there, Donna.
Exactly. Hugh was right there. Hugh is a great supporter. Let me give you a high.
Even though he hasn't read the book.
No, he actually has, I think. He just forgets.
I just didn't want to talk about the sex scenes.
Which I understand, because I actually...
Because sex is dirty.
No. But I've read a lot of really good books, and sometimes I don't always remember everything about it afterwards, right? And it's not necessarily like a fault of the book. It's a fault of my memory.
And plus, he's shy about those things. He doesn't talk about those things.
You don't talk.
No.
Okay.
No.
Plus, you're married, aren't you? Yes. Yeah.
So obviously I can't talk about it.
Yeah. No, I knew that. It was a joke. It was a joke. But if you weren't, then it wouldn't be a joke. But
exactly.
I don't know, Donna.
Well, it sounds like you were doing a lot of book stuff, like book signings and a lot of that's
a lot
amazing.
A lot of events which are good. There's some more coming up in June.
Holy cow, you're busy doing
as well as a roaming vendor, selling the books and stuff.
Is your publisher doing all this for you?
It's me doing it. So yeah, it's me doing it. Because even nowadays, a lot of times, even with the traditional publisher, from what I've heard from some people, sometimes their royalties can be very low, but if they get out there and they're kind of, doing a lot of the promotion on their own, they can really make things happen for themselves. So, I mean, when I say make things happen, I'm not talking about $100,000 from pure book sales, right? So E.L. James with 50 Shades of Grey is an extremely lucky person. That doesn't happen every day, right? So, but let's say you can make maybe 10,000 versus making 300.
Right.
You know, if you really hustle. It's possible.
Wow.
Go to enough events. Like, albeit the word on the street, albeit, you know, that kind of thing.
See, that's the way to do it, though. Because, I mean, you're teaching the course, self-publishing, and here you are, you're actually living it by going out there, promoting your own book, and making your own sales, and putting that money in your pocket rather than the publisher's pocket, right?
Like an indie artist, right? It's like
exactly.
An indie artist.
That's how Lorena McKinnon got started.
Same thing, too. That's how...
Lorena McKinnon.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
She started doing that. She would put her CDs in her trunk, take it across the country, and now she's a big international star.
I got my cars in my car. Like at my bookstore, my car's in my car.
Do you have a hatchback?
Yeah, I do. What? I do. It's a Volkswagen.
Front-wheel drive?
Golf. Yeah,
those are good cars.
Yeah, they're great
cars. Is it diesel?
No.
It's okay. You can convert it to run on water now.
I know.
You can convert it to run on water.
Even better than hybrids, right?
Oh, way better.
Yeah. See?
Except those shape-shifting alien
hybrids. Than a hybrid?
I know. Huh?
Diesel is better than a hybrid?
No, water.
Yeah.
Really? Just Volkswagen?
Just water. No, all cars.
All cars?
Any internal combustion engine can run on water.
It's new.
It's so new that...
And the government's not allowing it,
No, they don't want you to run your car
Again, it's like that whole thing about the free energy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, Hugh, you got to send me this information.
Okay.
That's absolutely fascinating.
All
If
right.
you blow my engine, I'm sending you the bill.
No. you have to do this at your own risk. Okay, Donna, it's 1:30. It's past 1:30.
Okay,
so,
right.
but let's tell you. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. Is this all on your website?
This is all on my website, especially Donna Magazine, my online magazine.
Oh my God.
I keep it updated, put my information up there. Thank you so much, ThatChannel.com, for helping to promote me as well. I really appreciate it. I'll keep sending great people, to you. I had nothing to do with that wonderful woman, Shailene, right?
Chanilleza.
Chanilleza, who is just here. She's absolutely fabulous. My goodness. So just absolutely wonderful. I could have sat here all day and actually listened to her music. Really, and I mean, I don't go out to concerts, man. That was a free concert.
You know what? You should be doing like a book launch and have her do a couple of tunes before.
There you go.
I would love to do that.
You should have her at the Eden Center. Oh my God.
I would love to do that. I would love to do that. I don't have
you can do that.
Pull.
I've played at a bookstore before.
I don't have that much pull though. Not just yet. Let's see how the first one goes, and maybe if they figure, okay, she's good, then maybe I can start making some requests.
Good. Okay, Donna. So what's the website again? DonnaKakonge.com?
DonnaKakonge.com, exactly.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck with the book.
And that'll send you to all the other little adventures and pathways to go through that website.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks, Donna. Good luck.
Thank you.
Especially good luck getting up to Oise.
Thank you. No problem. I think it should be all right.
Okay, so we're just going to, while you're doing that, Donna, we're going to do a little video. We're going to come back with Stephen Clarke, talk about network marketing.
Awesome.
But you were mentioning the aliens. I got video here of a reptilian shapeshifter. There goes Donna. A reptilian shapeshifter bodyguard that Obama has working for him. We got video right now.
They are in the government. Johnny Smash was right.
I know.
He didn't even know it. Where's Johnny?
Here, let's watch this, and we'll come back with Stephen Clarke.
Well, good morning, everyone.
During Barack Obama's speech at 2012 APAC Policy Conference at the Washington Convention Center, the cameras spotted a very odd individual, who may be either with the U.S. Secret Service, or with the Israels, and could be a strong evidence of a shapeshifter alien humanoid working for the powers that be, caught in a high-definition video during an event of the Zionist cabal.
4 years ago, I stood before you and said that Israel's security is sacrosanct. It is non-negotiable. That belief has guided my actions as president.
Even though at first sight he looks just like the average Secret Service spook, a series of odd features on his head, face, plus a very strange behavior and creepy movements, suggest something else. But due to the low lighting in half the amphitheater, he would pass unnoticed or regarded as a normal human being by the crowd, and everybody who watched this video, if it was not by the camera of the Jewish News One, which caught him from another angle apparently shape-shifting into some sort of reptilian non-human form.
intends criticism from some pro-Israel group who have claimed he...
Disregard all the distortions and image artifacts caused by post-edition zooming, and pay close attention to how his head features suddenly change. His ears, his nose, his chin, cheekbone, jaw and mouth are no longer looking human at all. Matter of fact, now he has a blatant non-human face. So what just happened? Did his shape-shifting device fail during Obama's speech, in the middle of an amphitheater crowded with people? Is he an actual reptilian humanoid? Is he one of the Anunnaki? Is he a tall grey bio-android, or what? Is that video evidence that the Illuminati elite is in bed with at least one ancient extraterrestrial race, hidden in plain sight, and pulling the strings of mankind?
Okay, we can come back anytime, you guys. Oops. Welcome back. So you see, Sandra? Alien shapeshifters.
You know, Hugh, you never disappoint. I knew you'd be talking about that today. See, I knew there was something in that.
Well,
yeah.
Speaking
That's
of...
a very cool video.
Well,
so, Johnny Smash may have been right after all.
About?
Aliens in government.
I know.
You never know. Johnny,
okay.
You may know more than you think you do.
Okay, let's get serious here because we have Stephen Clarke joining us here. Stephen, hi, welcome to That Channel.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Now, I met Stephen at a networking event, I don't know, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. And, well, I think we should say it. You know, you used to play for the Vancouver Canucks, right?
A long time ago.
You used to play for the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, I signed a contract with them, and then I blew out my knee. I had played 5 years in the Elite Series in Sweden.
Wow.
And then I signed over there, and when I came over, I blew out my knee and was never able to play again.
Ouch.
So it was one of those things for a professional athlete.
You know, we don't hear about that a lot. You know, you just see the guys that are on there all.
It happens all
the time. I bet it does.
Yes,
so many. Well, you know, the people that you actually know in person are the guys that could have made the NHL, but something happened, and
a lot of them out there. It happens a lot. A lot of great players never made it. I played with a lot of great players in Sweden that got hurt or simply didn't want to come to the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So
really?
Quite interesting, yeah.
So why wouldn't they want to come to the NHL?
Well, we play a 42-game season in Sweden. With playoffs and everything, you're playing about 65 versus over 100, and it's not so much of a business, and it's a lot more fun, and money's still good, so you have a lot of benefits to it, and a lot of the Swedes still, don't speak English, so coming over here is a bit of a challenge, and it's a different game, smaller rinks, a little more physical than we're used to over there, so
So it's not as physical over there. It's more international then.
It's
more
a
like
bigger
the
rink, and it's
game?
a much faster game.
Which is
and certainly I don't want to alienate any NHL guys, but
especially now that the Leafs have made the playoffs.
That's right, first time in 9 years, so that's quite exciting.
We know the world is coming to an end.
That's because of the shorter season.
That's right. We know there has to be.
Okay, so when will the Leafs win the Stanley Cup when they're only playing half a season?
Maybe this year.
That's my joke.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Enough of that, because we're here to talk about network marketing, Stephen. And some people, I just have to say, some people, they hear the word network marketing and they get turned off. Some people do that.
Yeah.
I'm actually a big fan, so let's get into it.
Well, first of all, understand that I was one of those people. I was certainly one of those people when it was first introduced to me, said there's not a chance. I was very big in the world of advertising. I had built up my own company. My last job was Executive Vice President of Saatchi & Saatchi, which is the second largest in the world. Worked on some great accounts. So when it was first proposed to me, because we were actually looking for something to do, the first thing I could think of was buying products, filling up the trunk of your car, selling to your family and friends. And but the fellow who introduced it to me was very successful, had a great reputation in the business world, and I was more curious when he said to me, you know, you're dismissing $100 billion a year industry, and you don't know anything about it except what somebody told you. And that was really fascinating to me, and I couldn't get that number out of my head. Why don't I know anything really about a $100 billion a year industry? And so I kind of took it to myself to get educated, and I really did. I got educated in about 4 months. I joined a number of companies, not to do the business, really to be able to go back to my friend and say, you know what, now I do know about it, and don't ever tell me, you know, don't ever mention it again. But what I found really was probably the best business model that I'd ever seen. It's about people helping people. The more people you help, the more successful you are.
And it's person to person rather than person to a giant corporation, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And there's also, despite what people think, there's many, many ways to do the business. So I was really, you know, we retired. We were down in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we were looking for something to do. And so we decided that, you know what, if we're going to get involved, let's really evaluate different companies. Let's find out one that we can align ourselves to. And let's really understand the industry, and that's what we did. So we've now been traveling the world, my wife and I, for 3 years. We've been to Argentina, Vietnam, Ukraine, Russia, and I speak on the industry a lot. Generically, I'd like to be able to improve the industry, quite frankly, improve that reputation, because when you say network marketing, people think of perhaps an Amway selling products to family and friends. The reality is the internet, of course, changed a lot of businesses. We know that. It had a huge impact. Maybe no more than this particular industry, because we're no longer really network marketing, we're internet marketing, where it's done all over the world. And for example, the company I represent, we do, and most companies in the industry today, everything is done on the internet. So where do you buy the products? Off the internet. How do you educate people? On the internet. So it's really, really changed. And although some people still do the business in certain ways, you're finding more and more people. It's now, by the way, $153 billion a year industry. There's paying out more than $50 billion in commissions. So it's a very, very serious industry that young people are really looking at.
Well, especially with the economy the way that it is. And one of the other things that I've noticed about network marketing is a lot of times that the companies, the network marketing companies, they spend a lot of money to create these websites that are really kind of really powerful e-commerce websites, which then they allow all the people involved to use these tools, right?
You know, the business is a real turnkey business. That's what you're looking for today. So, for example, the company I represent spent $1.5 billion on research and development. The products are all science-based, so, and they have double-blind studies, which you can send to people. Websites are all done. So basically, when you buy, it's almost like a mini franchise, really, you're buying. But the difference between a franchise, and it's funny because I did this scenario to a friend of mine here in Toronto. I won't say his name, but he knows who he is, who owns a McDonald's. And when I first was getting in, he said, you know, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're going to ruin your reputation. You can't make any money. And so we actually did a comparison between the two, the McDonald's franchise and mine. And at the end of it, about a 3-hour exercise where I did a PowerPoint presentation. We did all the points. He looked at it and he said, you know what? You have a better franchise than I do. Geographically, we're not limited. Financially, we're not limited.
And your overhead,
the startup costs, versus, you know, a couple thousand versus, you know, $3 million. No comparison.
So what do you sell?
Well, the company I represent is the #1 anti-aging company in the world. We're all science-based, and it's based on genetics. So that's the future, obviously. We know the genome came out, you know, 11, 12 years ago now. So that's the company. And for example, you talk about companies expanding. Our company, over 28 years, publicly traded company, is now just over $2 billion. We will add close to $1 billion in new sales this year, and $3 billion over the next 4 years. So that's huge growth, creating a new millionaire every 4 days, which I don't know any company, not just in network marketing, but anywhere is doing that. So there's real potential for people to really make, not necessarily the 7 figures or all these ridiculous numbers people throw around, but you know that an extra $500 to $1,000 a month makes a huge difference in people's lives today. And so that's what it can deliver as well.
Wow. Go ahead.
No, well, I was reading on some of the material that you sent that 2013 is called the Year of Opportunity.
That's a kind of an advertising thing where we did every year. We came up with that. I look at this because we're the particular company I'm affiliated with. We're launching a new fat loss product, and we know weight loss. So I'm not sure. I also speak all over the world on wellness because that's the subject I'm in. So 74% of North America is overweight, 35% now clinically obese. We spend more money on weight loss products than any 3 countries combined in the world today.
Who does, Canada?
North America.
Okay.
North America spends with Canada and U.S.
Wow.
So when you're looking at that and you're saying, well, obviously they're not working. The other problem is that weight loss itself is kind of an oxymoron, because if you lose weight, you lose muscle. Losing muscle burns calories. It's not a good thing to lose muscle. So the whole thing is kind of stacked against itself.
Right, hence fat loss.
So we're launching a new product based on genetic science, which you'll lose 20 to 30 pounds over a 90-day period safely, effectively, and clinical tests will prove that you lose 0 muscle mass. And that's really the first of
Well, that makes sense because everybody's different. Everybody's a unique individual. Sure. So if you're trying to apply one strategy for everybody, it doesn't make sense that it's going to work.
For sure. And the interesting thing that you find about genetics is that our genes are not that different. Our genes, for example, the 3 of us here, our genes are about 99% identical. There's very little difference in them.
Yet we all can look so different.
Absolutely.
Like you look very different.
Than us, you certainly
One
do.
of these things doesn't belong.
Yes.
Which one?
I think the one with the hat.
Okay. So, Stephen, what else do we need to know about network marketing?
Well, I think that it's one of the fastest growing industries in the world. I think that more and more people, because of the fact it's internet-based, because they're, let's face it, we live in a world today without borders. You can, and anybody, I always say to people, a lot of people say to me, why would you be in this industry? My immediate response is, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's an internet-based. I can do business in China and India. Can you? Most people know. Those are obviously exploding markets. I was just listening to I used to do some advertising for Toyota, so I'm really interested in the auto market, and I was reading that by the year 2030 there'll be 30 million new cars in China. Like, it's staggering.
Wow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hopefully they will be. And of course, Toyota's their big time, so the Prius and their hybrid cars. But just these are markets that are just exploding, and we need to be able to take advantage of them. And I don't know any other industry, quite frankly, that you can. That a regular person can start 2 to 3 hours a day. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Everybody talks about it.
And that's a misnomer.
The leaders talk about you can make $10,000 in 6 months, and you can do this, and it's easy. There's nothing easy about it. It takes discipline, but there's nothing different than this industry than any other industry out there. And if you're prepared to put in the time and effort, and as my mentor, Brian Tracy, who's by the way coming to Toronto next month, May 30th, Brian said to me one time, "Do you know what the formula for success is?" I was already fairly successful, so I was, well, I'm not sure. What is it? He said, it's a consistent effort over time. And you know what? I thought about that, and it's so true, and it applies to anything. You want to get in great shape? Consistent effort over time. You want to make a lot of money? Consistent effort over time. This industry probably is the perfect poster child for that type of statement, because you can be very successful if you're prepared to put in the time.
So, for people watching this right now, like who should get in touch with you? Should it be people that want to find out more about the industry? Should it be people that are interested in specific companies or specific products?
What I do specifically is, and I'm going to be doing it, in fact, we're talking to some universities right now here in Toronto, and we're going to be holding courses on educating people on network marketing. So I'm going to kind of position myself as a poster child. I'm going to try to position myself as somebody who talks about vehicles. You learn business in school. No one talks about the vehicle. I was consulting with a young lady the other day who just became a chiropractor, and so she wanted me to do a business plan for her. She was all excited, and I said, "Well, what's the end game here?" She said, "I want to make $1 million a year." I said, "Really? And how are you going to do that?" She said, "Well, I'm a chiropractor. I just graduated. I'm a chiropractor." So I had to sit her down and explain to her. I did it very quickly. Here's how many hours a day you have to work. Here's how much you can charge an hour. Here's how many days you can work. Here's the maximum you can make. She was heartbroken. No one told her that. That's the vehicle that she chose. And there's nothing wrong with that, but she trades time for money.
Yeah.
So we had to build a whole new plan for her that included, other streams of income so that she could hit her goals. But nobody talks about the vehicle.
Okay, so if she's trying to hit her goal of $1 million, cannot do it as a chiropractor.
Possible.
So now, so she's going to be doing something else than being a chiropractor?
No, we're just setting her up, her business differently. So now, for example, business plans, you say, okay, this is where I want to be. Stephen Covey, who was one of my great mentors, said start with the end in mind. So she starts with $1 million a year. Okay, well, even if you max out your time as a chiropractor, you're going to make a couple $100,000. So where's the rest coming from? So now we have to say, okay, so what are other areas that we can build a clinic around, and where else can we get revenue that can build you up to that? Because it can't be on your time anymore. That's the beauty of network marketing.
So she can have products in her practice.
She can set it up. She can set up a network marketing side. She can have other practitioners in, where she makes a percentage off of them.
She could write a book.
She could write a book. She could do many other things.
Okay.
But trading time for money is a bad strategy because you only have so much time. A doctor, they go in, they see so many patients, 100 patients a day. Imagine if they get sick for 2 weeks. They don't get paid.
Yeah.
It's not a good strategy, but it's something that we bought into, thinking that this is the way, because no one talked about the vehicle. And that's really important in life.
So this is what you're going to be teaching people. Now, do we know where and when, or is there a way for people to find out online?
Well, they can contact me, obviously. We're in negotiations right now. I'm writing a book on the industry, actually, which will be out in September, which will be called Network Marketing, The Real Truths. And I'm doing that with one of my partners who's been in the industry for 23 years and is a multiple seven-figure income earner. So, but we're really looking at taking this into the schools. I think that if my child got a business degree, and at the end of the day, I said to him, so tell me about the $153 billion a year network marketing industry, the business model. And he said, in 4 years, we never mentioned it. I'd be a little upset. And say, well, what do you mean you never mentioned it? It's a great business model. They never even mentioned it? No. So I think you're going to see it more and more. It's already started in the United States. There's some universities that are teaching it, but they're going to have to teach it. There's no doubt about it. And if not, parents are going to start getting upset, as they did in the States. So it's coming. I'd like to be one of those guys to teach it.
Yeah.
It's also, quite frankly, a great way for me to build our business, because people are saying, well, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, that's one of the strategies, obviously.
Well, maybe there's somebody out there, an educator, somebody working for a big institution, or that might say, that's a great idea, and they might want to get in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking for that. In fact, we're being proactive. I was a marketing guy, as I mentioned, and so we know how to kind of market those types of things. So we're taking it to them and saying, listen, here's the deal. Continuous education, obviously, is a great way to do it, but I really think it should be part of the
core
main curriculum. I think it should be part of it. I think kids need to understand it. And we've done our own research and kind of looked at, and we did a couple of hundred 20 to 25-year-olds. Number one, 80% of them never heard of network marketing.
That's weird.
They had no idea what it was, like zero. 80%.
Wow, isn't that tied in with Facebook and Twitter?
They just they don't get it. They don't understand what it is. And the interesting thing is 60% of that group, when you ask them about Amway, which is it's the biggest it's $11.3 billion now. It's the biggest in the industry, surpassed Avon last year.
Wow.
You say, well, have you heard of Amway? They say, no. What's Amway?
Wow.
Now, who hasn't heard of Amway?
That's
but
weird.
20, 25-year-old kids have not.
Wow.
So, it is kind of weird. And Amway, of course, is an $11.3 billion company. So, it's
But ask them if they've heard of Avon. I bet you they've heard of Avon.
Avon does more. They still do mass media commercials and stuff like that. And they're not really a network marketing. They're more of a direct sale where they just have, one person selling. You don't have like big teams and everything like network marketing companies do. So it's a little bit different.
Well, Stephen, it's been good to have you on and have this conversation.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
What is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
My email. People email me. I get it all the time. It's sclark0126@gmail.com. We have a number of different things. I'm all over Facebook and LinkedIn. That's usually where we get a lot of the requests, and people want to know what we do and how we're doing it, especially when we're posting about all the different places we've been. So
that's S Clarke with an E on the end, right?
With an E, absolutely.
SClarke0126@gmail.com.
That's it.
All right.
Okay.
Stephen, thanks for coming here.
Thank you very much. Great being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we're going to take a little break. And,
go, Leafs, go.
Yeah, I don't have any video for that, though. But we're going to come back with spirit medium Vincent Pace.
Yay. Maybe he can tell us if the Leafs will win. No pressure.
I'm sure he can. And also, okay, now I have a video here, Sandra, that you're going to like, kind of along the idea. This is video number 6, guys. There's a satellite been circling the planet for 13,000 years. It's called the Black Knight satellite, and we've got video. And we're going to come back with Vincent Pace right after this. So there's the Black Knight satellite. See, people think this is, this stuff's all over the internet, right?
It's everywhere.
So it must be true. Actually, Vincent Pace is joining us here, psychic or spirit medium, or Vincent. I mean, what's the best way to describe?
Spirit medium is great.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you. Now, I met you a couple years ago. You were on Catherine McDonald's show here at the station, and
I was on her show a few times, actually.
Yeah. So welcome back, and
thank you for having me.
And what should we get into here, Vincent? Spirit medium. I mean, do you deal mostly with individuals, or can you look at things like from a broad, overall macro point of view?
Well, my work is specifically individual based. Yeah. Okay. The premise that that I assert is the idea that I wish to be somewhat of a facilitator for individuals who for instance, are not at peace within themselves. And the whole premise of mediumship is the idea of helping an individual have closure with regards to someone who's deceased, a deceased loved one. And let's say maybe they didn't get a chance to say goodbye, or maybe their relationship was a little strained, or perhaps there was distance between the two of them prior to the passing.
Like a fight or something like that.
Something of this nature. My job as a medium is to somehow connect them and offer some evidence that their consciousness continues to exist. and that the link that makes all of this possible is love.
Wow.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay, that's interesting. Actually, let's come back to that the link is love. I want to ask you, because I know that, you know, I read some of your material before today, and that you know, some people are scared by this topic, right?
Very.
And some people, their immediate reaction is they don't want to think about it, they want to deal with it.
Right.
And you've been dealing with it since you were a kid, right?
Absolutely. I believe what gets in people's way many of the times is ingrained concepts of religion.
Well, yeah, and I want to get into that because what some people are going to say, especially people, you know, Christian
or staunch believers,
in something, they're going to say that, you know, how can we know that it's actually our relative? How do we know that it's not some sort of
hoax or
evil spirit that's pretending to be my relative?
And those are great questions, because it is very possible, and I offer classes in understanding how to connect with the spirit. And I suggest to individuals who are studying that your mind is your greatest gift. It's your greatest armament. In other words, if you are not able to offer someone concrete evidence as to this is the consciousness that's actually speaking to me, then of course your credibility diminishes.
Okay.
And then your authenticity is questioned, and therefore your overall approach has to be such that you need to give people a real and true experience of the spirit world.
How do you do that?
Well, when I read for individuals, I make sure that I'm very clear in who I'm connecting them with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are there times where it can be vague, though? I mean,
well, it can be. It can be where there's not enough information coming. I mean, one time I read for a gentleman whose wife had just recently passed, maybe 2-3 months prior.
Okay.
And I said to him, your wife wants you to wear the wedding ring. And he says to me, that's hogwash. I never wore a wedding ring. And I said to him, well, she tells me that, and I described the armoire, and I described the place, and I said it's in this jewelry box. He sends me an email literally 2 days later and said, you know what? I found the ring, and I remember when she gave it to me, but I haven't worn it in 40 years.
Wow.
So sometimes when information comes from those in the spirit world, we're not aware of it in the moment. Sometimes the experience is so overwhelming that we're not sure as to what's being given to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but say
I want to touch on the religion thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So when I lecture, I speak on topics from.
Let me hold it up.
My book.
This is a journey with the total self.
That's
right?
correct. These are spirit teachings, and I convey a message, and that message is one like guides all. And I tell people that the most authentic form of religion is to connect with the spirit within you. What does religion mean? Religion, its derivative from Latin, means relegare, or from French, reléger, which means to reconnect, reunite. It's very simple. What are you reuniting with? Your own spirit. The gifts of the spirit are given to you. They're not chosen. So, for instance, was I born a medium? Absolutely. Just like I was born a musician or a composer. It behooves me to honor, acknowledge those gifts, and then go cultivate them. And once I have cultivate them, then I can go and express them.
And serve people with them.
And serve people
But
with
is
them.
everybody...
But that's religion. There it is. It's authentic connecting to your spirit through your gifts.
Which means everybody should be able to be a medium then. You're saying you were born with...
Not necessarily. I taught band for 16 years.
Well, it's just like that. Some people are born with musical skills. Some people are born with hockey skills, right?
That's correct. I taught band for 16 years.
And the nature of my job was that instrumental music, and I bounced between schools.
Okay.
I literally taught thousands of kids over a 16-year period.
Okay.
Can I affirm that every child is musical? Absolutely not.
Okay.
No way. They can probably feel music. They can have an understanding of what they like. Can they express musically with a semblance of coherence? Nope.
Well, everyone is born with their talents that they're good at.
Absolutely.
And everyone's got a unique footprint or fingerprint of their talents.
Excellent. Because when I read for people, I normally suggest to them that God gives you an imprint. And that imprint is held right here. We call this the solar plexus.
Yeah.
This is referred to as the intuitive self, right?
Right.
And the intuitive self holds your purpose, your intent, as to what God had planned out for you. And your job is to more or less acknowledge your gifts and then understand God through your own gifts.
So God has a plan for everybody?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now you mentioned, right off the top, you mentioned you do this through love. That's the way you do it. That's an interesting perspective. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, what that means?
Sure. I'll give you another analogy.
Okay.
One time I had read for a mother and daughter.
Okay.
And they had come to hear from father and husband. Now, I did my best to convey the messages of this gentleman.
Okay.
But because he had done something to them,
not nice.
Not nice.
Okay.
They were resistant to whatever I brought, and therefore refused to accept any information.
Okay.
As a result, that does not imply that this gentleman didn't work hard to connect to these two individuals, to perhaps say, hey, look, I'm sorry, or listen, I really do still love you, but I had this particular aspect in the psyche that led me to do this, so please forgive me, sort of.
Okay.
So this is the link of love that I'm referring to.
Okay.
It's not this wonderful bliss of, and you know, flowers and roses.
Okay.
Sometimes it is.
Wait a sec. Okay.
Sometimes it is. But the idea of love that I'm conveying is there is no end to our interaction. There is no cessation. There's no death.
Okay, wait a sec now, Vincent, because I'm going to not be a devil's advocate. I'm going to be an angel's advocate here for a second.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can see the halo.
Do it.
I can see the halo.
Do it. Do it.
It's off air. You can't see it.
Because you know, like the religious people are going to say that there are there's God, and then on the other hand there's Lucifer and his bad angels, whatever, his unholy spirits, right? And some people say that all the channeled entities, are really just these evil spirits, and that even if, for example, you're talking to a dead person on the other side, that it's really a dark spirit that's impersonating a loved one.
Well, here's what I tell people that study with me, that we are phenomenal sentient beings, and we have within our brain something called instinct. It releases a chemical that says fight or flight. Now, the intuitive self has the same thing. The soul has the same thing. So when we're sensing energy, you'll know immediately as to when something is benevolent or full of malice. You'll know that. You'll feel it. So intuition, quickly, is knowing what you know without knowing how you know it.
I like that. Knowing what you know without knowing how.
Well, that's interesting. And I know Sandra, I mean, she's very woo-woo.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, most religions have a construct. They have a construct.
Yeah.
They have ideologies within their organization that they choose to uphold. So one of the constructs is this concept of good and the antithesis of good. So, as you spoke of, God, love, and Lucifer. But if we look at Lucifer and we understand its meaning from the Latin, it means light.
Right.
And if we look at historically where this concept of Lucifer comes from, it comes from astrology. Hellenistic understanding of astrology, where we have an angel, a star traversing the sky, and when that star traversed the sky, it fell. And when that star fell, the sun no longer was as bright, and therefore they figured that this star fallen star, was not good. It didn't help our crops grow. It didn't warm our huts. So these are all ancient ideologies, ancient understandings that have just been.
So you're saying there is no Lucifer? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying there's balance.
Okay.
And I am saying that all within the balance is light.
Okay, because if you're saying, I mean, Lucifer was light, right? So, and they call him a fallen angel, so which means he had to have been light that just fell, so he can climb back up. I guess.
Can he?
You know, not to borrow a concept, but just to share this understanding, and I share this with people. If you look at the Christ story, it's a story, and it's a wonderful story. This persona, this character, as he realizes that he is to be put to death, he accepts the dark. He accepts his betrayer and says, okay, go do what you have to do. He didn't fight. He understood that there was balance within light. He understood that this may be perceived as darkness, yet it is my plight. And I take it on. And this, in essence, brings evolution of his soul.
Okay, so brings evolution of his soul. So now, is that happening with a lot of us? Do we eventually get rid of the dark? Where are we moving? Or do we stay in this all the time?
Well, here's the idea. Here's the idea. Our experience in the physical world, the Buddha spoke of the middle way. He spoke of having an understanding of the divine self and the physical self. And the middle way is to evolve spiritually via suffering. So could suffering be seen as dark? Probably. Look at the Christ symbol. So if you think of divine self and spirit self, or rather spirit self, divine self, where does it meet? In the middle. It's the same concept. In the figure, the persona is nailed. Therefore, that's suffering. Here it is again. Could it be perceived as malice or dark? Yes, of course.
But do we transcend that at some point?
When we are no longer physical. When we are no longer physical. However, that's not always true, because I've read for people where for instance, their grandmother comes and says, I'm still practicing my religion. Or I'm still angry with my daughter 25 years later.
In the non-physical world?
In the non-physical world.
Okay.
I'm still angry with my daughter, and you could feel all the anger.
Like that's, okay, so what does that tell us or tell you about the afterlife? When someone comes and they're still kind of reflecting their earthly life and beliefs and form and that sort of thing?
To me, it's simple. It implies that the consciousness has not transcended its physical experience.
So what could they do in order to do that?
Acceptance.
And how
of whatever their experience was.
And now, can anybody here do that for them?
Well, it's a two-way street.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I'm reading for an individual and their mother comes, so I'll give you another analogy.
Okay.
I'm up in Cookstown and I'm reading for a lady, and this lady's mom comes immediately. And I give description of this lady, and she says, yeah, that's her. And then she says, B-I-T-C-H.
Who said that?
The lady.
Okay.
That I was reading for.
Okay.
She did not want to hear from her mother.
Okay.
But the mother was the first person that came.
Okay.
Because she wished to make amends.
Okay.
She wanted to, for instance, suggest, look, I'm sorry for what I did to you. So here now we begin the idea of transcending. Now we're coming away from our physical experience of suffering. When we make amends, 12-step, this idea, it's the same concept. Same concept.
Now, do they do this on the other side? The mom who came to try to make amends, is that to try to clear the karma so they don't have to come back in this life and have to repeat?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly the idea.
Okay.
Because consciousness continues to exist. So you could use the word karma, or you could use energy, or you could use rightful intent.
But they're trying to bring it to balance. They're trying to somehow make up for without having to come back in a physical life to do it again.
Absolutely, and that I would prefer to use that expression rather than karma, just to put it back into balance. Exactly that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Can you see anybody around him?
Hugh's got a grandfather on the father's side that comes to him often. And you must have similar names, aside from the last name. You must have similar names.
His name was actually Hugh.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a birthday coming up, too. Yeah.
His?
Yeah, and there's his. Well, there you go. There's also someone that would be linked to you through marriage, and he's pointing to his heart. And he says that this is how he goes into the spirit world. It's got to be high blood pressure, diabetes, heart dilemma. He could have had a stroke before he left, too.
No, who would this be?
This feels like a father-in-law. This feels like a father-in-law. Yeah.
Is that accurate? Father or mother-in-law?
No, it's a father-in-law.
It's a male.
Yep. It's not your father.
No.
It's linked to you through marriage.
Then it would be, well, he died of a brain tumor.
I felt like he would have a stroke, but he also pointed to his heart.
Okay.
Indicating that this was part and parcel as to why he goes. His heart gives out. And there's a reference to the month of May to him. He's referencing 3 children as well. 3 children.
He had 3 children?
There are 3 that he's highlighting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there are 4.
There's 3 he's highlighting.
Okay.
Oh, well, let's not even discuss who, because we don't want to know who the 4th one he's not highlighting.
That's interesting. What does that mean, though, highlighting? I mean, he's just...
Meaning he let me see 3 individuals.
Okay.
That would have been his offspring.
All right.
Now, obviously, you're saying he would have had 4. Usually that would indicate to me these are the 3 that he would have a stronger relationship with, a stronger connection with, and a stronger understanding.
Or could it also be too, Vincent?
Okay.
Could it also be though
sense.
that the 4th
so
one?
So you understood that, correct?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah.
Or could it be that those 3 he's worried about, maybe not the other one he's not so worried about?
No, I didn't feel worry. I felt more. I'm connected.
A connection. Yeah, actually, that was the word that I was going to say. Okay,
interesting.
Let's do Sandra now.
Sandra's got a grandmother on the mom's side. Okay. Yeah, there is either an L kind of sound to it, an L sound, and there's also a birthday that just passed, is what she's referring to.
Okay.
Yeah. She's also referring to flowers. She either would have liked the flowers, or I can smell the flowers as to when she was buried. There's got to be something in the casket too. She's referring to something that was placed in her casket, and I can feel how, for instance, this would have really impacted your mom.
The thing in the casket?
No, her passing.
Okay.
How this would have really impacted your mom. And I also feel whatever was spoken on her behalf, someone said something at her wake. She's very, very grateful for that.
Wow.
Does that make sense, Sandra?
I spoke at it.
There you go.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, can we do Johnny Smash?
Thank you.
Johnny Smash is in the house.
Johnny Smash.
Yeah, come on. You come on over beside Vincent. Look at Johnny. Bring in the chair.
Johnny's chair is stuck to his butt.
Thank you. I've always wanted to do this. I appreciate this.
Okay.
So,
go ahead, you guys.
Johnny, we spoke briefly prior to the interview, and I felt that there was a grandmother on the mom's side that wanted to link to him, and there was an M-sounding name that she referenced, and there's also a birthday this month. There's a birthday coming up. This is the other thing she's indicating. She's indicating 4 children. She's indicating 4 children, and there's a significance in the month of June that she's highlighting. She's also making me feel like she didn't. I can say this. This is really personal, but anyway, here it goes. Here it goes. I feel like she didn't really like your dad too much. This is what she says to me. she didn't like him, and she didn't feel that he was the right one for her daughter.
Right.
Okay, and she also makes me feel like, but she loved her daughter, and did her best to support her. And I also feel there's the idea of she's not from this country. I don't feel that, and I feel a lot of warmth on my body. There's the idea of going back to her country, or wanting you to go back to her country.
And it's been a big debate in my family because I've been away from my homeland for a long time.
Right.
They did have problems with my father. And actually, because as you said previously, we had this conversation, I went downstairs and I phoned my mom, who's in the United States of America. And she said, please, please, please ask him about me. Does she have a message? Does she have a message for my mom?
Yes. She wants you. Yeah. There's also an E sounding name.
Yeah, that's what I had to get to, because that's why I know that you're for real.
Okay.
Because my grandmother's rightful name is just Milda, but we called her Miss Milda.
Okay, there's the M.
And that's where you get the M.
Okay, so she wants your daughter, her daughter, not your daughter. She wants her daughter to know that all is forgiven.
Right.
All is forgiven, and she wants your mom to make peace with her sister.
Sister, yes. I was gonna, you took the words right out of my mouth.
She
and
wants.
The letter is, I'll have it behind my back.
No. There is a J. There is a J sounding name that I want to acknowledge, but that sounds similar to yours.
No, because that's not my real name.
Yeah, it sounds similar to yours, is what I said. But there's a J sounding name.
That's my sister.
Yeah, that I wanted to acknowledge. She also wants you to tell your sister that she mustn't make those choices.
Right.
She mustn't make those choices. I feel like she would have been mother hen.
Yeah.
You know, very strong mother hen. And
can you tell her I love her?
Oh, she knows. She knows this already. She wants you to tell your sister.
Yeah, with the J.
Yeah, not to make those choices.
Right.
Not to make those choices. And she also wants you to know that she loves you.
Okay, thank you.
She loves you. She knows something to do with either you're going to write about her or you've written about her, and she wants to acknowledge this.
Right.
She wants to acknowledge this. And she wants you to know that you're a wonderful star.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, we already knew that.
Yeah, Johnny did such a good job.
He did.
At the beginning of the show today,
he did.
Johnny.
Right.
Vincent,
Okay.
Vincent, before you,
once
Johnny,
you open the door, they all come.
okay, but Vincent, don't take. I mean, Johnny, don't take all his time because you've got to do Anne Marie before you leave. Okay?
Yeah, and I think.
Okay. I'm not in charge of who comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Just can you do one thing quickly for Anne Marie, and then we're going to have to wrap this up, Vincent. But I think you've obviously impressed everybody. Well, you can just do it off the air, but
okay.
or you know, you're on the air. But
there's a gentleman. I don't know if it's. I'm still with you, Johnny. But there's a gentleman that is pointing to this area. This is the stomach area. He shows me his prostate as well, and I feel like it travels up. It's cancerous. It travels up. Yeah. It travels up, and he doesn't. I don't know whether he refers to with Marie or Marie, but it's a nickname that he's referencing you. He's acknowledging a sister, and he wants to acknowledge a sister. There's two. They're his sisters. They're his sisters. So I also feel like he wants to acknowledge his mother-in-law. That would be your grandmother. Your grandmother. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Your grandmother, on your mom's side, he's acknowledging her. Yeah. There's an Emma sounding name that links to this as well. Someone would have played. Someone would have played piano. They're on your mom's side. They're on your mom's side. Yeah.
Okay, guys. We're gonna have to take this.
Anything else off air to take anything because it sounds pretty emotional.
This is
actually.
awesome. This is, I mean, yeah. Look at.
Wow,
okay,
Vincent,
so
you're amazing. Well, off air.
Okay, do it, Johnny.
Okay, you talked about the spirit world and Lucifer, and is there a heaven? Is there a hell?
Interesting concept. I just spoke of that at a lecture I gave, and the idea is this: heaven and hell is within you. It's a state of consciousness. It's not a place you're transported to. It's inside of you. And if you're creating the balance within you, having peace within you, honoring your gifts that God has given you, then you'll certainly experience heaven.
Wow. There you go.
You.
Johnny
Wow.
Smash.
Wow.
The book, A Journey with the Total Self.
Yeah, Vincent, this was awesome. There's the book, Journey with the Total Self by Vincent Pace. And the CD, what's the CD?
This CD that you're holding up is Soothe the Soul Meditations, which is simply music for meditation. And Journey with Self goes in tandem with A Journey with the Total Self. This is orchestral choral music that I composed.
Wow.
Okay, it was performed in Kiev.
Kiev.
Yes,
awesome.
Wow, beautiful.
Now,
awesome.
Vincent, where can people get in touch with you and maybe get their hands on these products, or maybe they want to come and see you?
You can go to our website, www.onelightguidesall-vpace.com, and everything is there. We have the readings there, the healings, the books, the CDs.
Okay.
And obviously you're
Classes.
an excellent medium, because you have just proven yourself in front of with four people here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
And
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so that's onelightguidesall.vpace.com.
Excellent.
Right? Okay.
That's correct.
So we are going to we're going to have fun, obviously, while we do something now. We're going to come back with Shawn Dalton as Liquid Lunch hits the home stretch.
Now we're getting right back to real life.
But we're going to have this. I got the DJ Obama, their first Obama video, DJ O, the Day Job Orchestra.
Oh, okay.
They're from Durham region, I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's watch these guys, and we're going to come back with Shawn Dalton.
Mr. Passion.
Get ready for more pain. Thank you. Obelisk. I worship the mass media that sponsors me. Made me win. Fuck hope. Are those flowers? Thanks. What all I'm saying is, sorry. Fuck America. Nazis are gonna come into your home. Well, at least we're hoping. Whether you're left or right, ask Mr. Colin Powell. He knows they're both fascists. Yeah! Asshole. I've been a fascist since I came out of the womb.
Freemason.
We own the space station.
Shit. Assholes.
Oh, they're here to make a big deal and make a lots of money.
Exactly, Tattoo. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
The election is staged? Hey, Zbigniew, can I be the Pope? Go bomb Russia! Fuck. Shazam!
Shazam! This motherfucker is cancer. Bitch. I'm waiting for him to turn around so I can look at his ass.
She's dumb. Yeah. I need salad, french fries, and Cool Whip.
How about a hockey bag, you prick? What time is this over?
Bite your wrists.
Zumba.
This is bullshit, but I'm handsome and smart. Thank you. Cream! Waterboarding would be fine. People, watch this thumb action shit. My horse shot me at the Bat Museum. Chew me. 8,969. What if I had a fluorescent pancreas? Cream of wheat. So we need 6 basketballs and a hologram. I think there's a party at 41625. Oh, wait. What fucking street is it? Arm. Awesome. Do you know how to pop zits? With a pitchfork. Sweet. I'm a fascist. Stop me. Oh, baby, have a falafel. We like fascism. Go to your room. Whistle and sound. I'm made to whistle. God, I'm so horny when I whistle. I spanked 12 octopuses and a whale. I would have fucked them. Stacked them. And then sodomized them, but it was droopy. Crazy. Oh.
Acid sports coats in Northern California and Miami ice, yup. Me talks to beanbags. No, you don't. Beanbags, Christ almighty. Jesus Christ. I'm reading most of this shit. Kool-Aid. Apple juice goes rancid. Often we see Damn It, Susie, let's go to a movie.
Wubba bum.
How can I embarrass my running shoes? I want you, Dorothy.
Grease it, eh?
Open it up.
Anyone got a timpani?
I'm gonna fuck with it.
Fulcrum.
Fuck this, Whitey. Give me a sandwich, extra mattresses.
Because Washington is full of eels.
Which was nice. Puncture it. Let's go off the police. I'm into finger painting.
Oh yeah, and I'm into farting. What's the point of life? Blowing shit up.
Back to the show. We're back on the show. Okay. What was that video we just watched? That DJO thing. Anyway, I know you didn't see it, Sandra, but you can watch it in the you know, when it's back together. We're here with Shawn Dalton now, and Johnny Smash.
Again.
Still here with us because he wants to participate in this conversation.
Thank you kindly, Johnny Smash.
You're welcome. I seen you the last time. I love what you have to say, and I'm here all ears.
Okay.
God bless you. Thank you kindly for the support.
So it's what the death of Canadian bilingualism part 2 today, right?
It is.
Shawn,
yeah.
okay, let's begin.
Okay. I spent 4 hours data mining the Census 2011 data, which, by the way, the newspapers did a horrible job of explaining exactly who speaks what language and how this impacts our society, our sense of social cohesiveness and unity across the country.
Yeah.
And I'd like to begin by saying that as of May 10th, 2011, there were 33,476,688 citizens living in Canada in total, and Ontario, Quebec, BC, and Alberta represent 84.29% of Canada's total population.
Ontario, Quebec, BC, and Alberta.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 Canucks live in those 4 provinces.
They're big provinces.
Yeah.
Which are the 4 provinces? Ontario, Quebec?
BC, and Alberta.
Okay.
With Alberta being one of the fastest growing provinces demographically.
Because of the oil.
Yeah, people are going there in droves. People are leaving Ontario and going to Alberta in droves because, as we said in previous debates, Ontario has 5.9 million workers, or 31% of the workforce, but 44% of all the unemployed people in Canada live in Ontario.
But that's changing.
620,000 of the 1.4 million are in Ontario, the unemployed numbers.
But now they're moving to Alberta.
That's because our government has failed to protect our industrial base.
You're right about that. They don't promote it, they don't protect it, and the Americans, sometimes it either moves to the States or we become branch plants.
Well, I mean, they've gutted the U.S. industrial sector too, right?
But the States is still more productive than we are. We're last in productivity in the G8 nations.
Well, there's reasons for that.
We're least likely to invent stuff or do stuff that, together as a nation.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so the amount of people that speak English most often, and this is from the third set of data. This is language most often spoken in your house, because that's the language you most often speak in the public. So it's a language spoken in your home. There was 3 sets of data, so I chose the third set because the language you speak inside your house is usually the one you speak in the public realm.
Okay.
So 21.5 million people spoke English in the home, or 64% of the Canadian population. French was spoken by 6.8 million citizens, almost 7 million, or 20%. The French spoken inside Quebec was 6.2 million, or 91%. Outside Quebec, the amount of French-speaking people was just over 500,000, or 8.5%, which proves that outside Quebec, less than 10% of the population speaks French as a first language. However,
still an important language.
The non-official languages, there was 3.6 million people that spoke, or 10% that spoke a non-official language. Bilingual citizens, there was 127,605 in the whole country.
That's it?
0.38 to 1%. When you average everything
tragic.
out. But the bilingual citizens, English and a foreign language, was 724,000, or 2.2% of the whole Canadian population.
But that's because of immigration.
It was several times higher,
Yeah.
So, Ontario represents 38.4% of Canada's total population. 10 million speak English. 284,000 speak French, or 2.2% of Ontario. That's one of the highest French-speaking provinces in the country at 2.21%. If you look at Quebec, it's 91%. I'm sorry, 79% of people speak French as a first language. But if you look at BC, 0.42 of 1% speak French as a first language. 16,000 citizens. Let's look at Alberta. French, 24,000 citizens speak French, or 0.68 of 1%. If you look at Manitoba, we've had 50 years to try this policy. Like, bilingualism is in 70s, so we've had 4 or 5 decades to actually experiment with this to see if it's actually working or it's not working.
It obviously needs to try harder.
Okay, but wait a second. I don't know if you have the stats on this, but don't go home. Do more homework if you don't. Okay, in Quebec. Okay. What is the percentage of people where they speak French at home? That's the first language. With Quebec City versus Montreal.
Okay, Quebec City is more French-speaking. Montreal's seen a decline in French-speaking citizens from 62.5% to 56.5% in the last 10 years.
Well, it's a big immigration center, too.
Quebec has a policy of interculturalism, so if you go to Quebec, they try to assimilate citizens. They try to make you one of them, like kind of like the United States, like where you are forced to struggle in the melting pot ethos.
Okay. Yeah. So and then Montreal?
Alberta is very similar to Quebec City. Like if you go to Alberta, you have to be a cowboy. You have to fit in. They encourage it too. They invite you to all the rodeos, and they make people feel at home.
So my point here is, if you drill down even more, okay, it's really centered around Quebec City, and not so much even Montreal, right?
You're right. Absolutely. That's what my statistics reveal.
So when you're saying bilingualism, all of this hoopla about bilingualism is not really about the province of Quebec. Is it about the city of Quebec? Is it about Quebec City or Quebec as a province?
We've been run by Quebec Incorporated for the last 3-4 decades. If you look at the leaders of Canada, Trudeau, Mulroney, Chrétien, Martin, and Dion, all of them were from Quebec, and we've been run by these people with that in mind. So Harper's the first non-Quebec prime minister we've had, so it's a little bit different of a scenario. He's not going to put Quebec first. He's not going to, keep...
But it seems to me it's more about Quebec City than Montreal, though.
Yeah, but that's a bastion of French-speaking citizens. Like that's their little piece of. Do you mind if I read something from this book, The Northern Mangus, Frog in the Throat? It'll kind of explain. Okay, cool. Part of the problem was that bilingualism in the end had to mean, well, 2 equal languages. Being a little bit more bilingual, being as impossible to achieve as being a little bit pregnant. On the day after the Official Languages Act was passed, the Calgary Herald came right to the point. Quote, "For the more rewarding jobs, bilingualism is being made a practical necessity," end quote. Initially, these, quote, rewarding jobs meant that just the top ones at Ottawa. Inevitably, though, it would soon mean all the middle-ranked jobs that fed the top, then jobs in the para-government, all the way from the Canadian Manufacturers Association to the Canadian Labour Congress, and down the line to jobs of all companies which had dealings with francophones, and to some provincial government positions. Eventually, unilingualism would mean a life sentence to job immobility. Trudeau knew this all along. He fibbed about it as a necessary means to an end. As late as April 1977, for instance, he said in Winnipeg that bilingualism did not mean, quote, that a lot more Canadians will have to be bilingual, or even, quote, most civil servants, end quote. Indeed, this policy, quote, will make it possible for the vast majority of Canadians not to have to speak a second language, end quote. White lies like these are the acceptable tools of every politician's trade. Trudeau's difficulty was that the truth was bound to come out. Obviously, it's coming out now, thanks to Statistics Canada. Even if, well, they ask people what language you speak at home, and most people filled it out. Like over 90% of the country, I think it was 95, 96%, filled it out and sent it in. And most people are pretty honest about it. Like it's a,
Why would you lie?
I didn't. I speak both languages at home, but I just said English.
Yeah, the census data is really useful,
Oh.
Even if they were slow to comprehend what was happening, more and more English Canadians, such as myself, even though I went to a French immersion school, became aware that they had been disadvantaged and began to react, as I'm doing now.
Yes.
Some expressed their feelings through hostility, others by turning away. In 1979, Dalton Camp put it shrewdly in Points of Departure. The persistence and growing pervasiveness of bilingualism had alienated English Canadians from their federal governments, turning them inwards to more familiar, compatible, and near political jurisdictions in the provinces. The government of Canada had lost its constituency. Without a constituency, democratic governments are just a shell. Their legal authorities remain, but their moral authority vanishes. During 1976, both halves of the country rejected bilingualism. A Gallup poll that summer measured popular support for institutional bilingualism at an all-time low of 37%. Trudeau had lost his moral authority to mobilize the national will. The center was no longer holding. And I want to just make 2 more points. We're last in productivity now in the G8. We've got a higher population than Sweden and some of the other countries like Switzerland at 7.5 million, yet they outperform us in productivity. My bag was made by the Swiss Army Company. It's very well made. We don't do these kinds of things.
Okay,
my shoes were made in Germany, handmade.
Okay, that's a whole.
What's that got to do with bilingualism?
Yeah, I mean that's a separate issue.
We're divided.
I'm happy to talk about it.
It divides us. And his other policy, multiculturalism, means celebrate the country where your parents came from instead of the Canadian one. Instead of having a Canadian identity and a shared sense of values, we're now looking across the ocean at Europe or Africa or Asia.
So do Swiss are they unilingual? Switzerland?
They are, but they have a very each citizen has to be in the army for 2 years.
They have 3 languages in Switzerland.
Yeah, but they're very united. They're very democratic. They have a lot of referendums. You know, we don't have referendums. The only referendums we have is whether or not we want to have a ripped apart country.
No, I know, but see, I think the thing is, there's Switzerland with 3, maybe 4 languages, but it's a united country.
It is.
And something is binding it together. And I think what Trudeau was trying to do is bind Canada together in the same way, with 2 different official languages. And I think, I think, Shawn, if we lost that and we became a unilingual English country, and Quebec became a separate unilingual French country, I think we'd all be worse off. And I think part of the big problem is, do we want to be Americans? Because I think that's the fate. Is if we do that, we're gonna end up having to join the U.S. and be a big unilingual English melting pot. And do we want that? Do you want that?
We should take some of America's ideas, because they're a more socially cohesive, unified country than Canada is, and they're a hell of a lot more productive than we are, and they're a lot happier than us too. Like they're more together. Like the terrorist events which occur in their country doesn't even faze them. They're very assertive and aggressive.
They just shut Boston down. They stopped a baseball game.
Yeah, but it's not going to stop the American citizen from going out, innovating the next tech company.
It'll stop it'll stop when they're all living in FEMA camps.
But you know
that's going to be a good reality show.
And they all live in fear of this whole gun control thing.
Well, our whole culture has been predicated on kicking them in the teeth. So I'm personally sick of our, the anti-American sentiment and bashing our neighbors. We're supposed to love thy neighbor.
Listen, I'm not saying bashing them. I just don't want to be an American. Sorry, go ahead,
so
Johnny
what does it mean to be a Canadian?
Well, listen, I'm with you on it.
You just came up with the word, though, predicated, right? So when I look at the history of the country and I realize the French were here and then the British came after, isn't it dictated for us to be bilingual if that's the true history of our country?
Wolfe defeated Montcalm in about 1658, so that should have been the end of the French narrative in this country. We allowed the Quiet Revolution to socially engineer.
Why does are we having a?
We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the French language.
Is it a unified consensus, like get the French out? Like, I mean,
not get them out. Let's just stop teaching kids French language as a second language. There's no evidence it's working. People aren't. Like, we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a year, and
I agree with that. There's no evidence that it's working.
But that's what I'm getting.
Well, then we need to try harder.
That's where I'm getting. I'm going to break my question down into 2 parts for you, or just my comment, actually.
Okay, I'd like to read, if possible, Chapter 18 from Stephen Harper and the Future of Canada by William Johnson.
Right.
Do you guys mind if I read a little bit about what he's trying to mention? He's trying to get at.
Would you want him to did you want to comment first?
Comment? Yeah, do you mind?
No, go ahead.
Okay, cool. The distinctive political values and policies that brought most, quote, reform conservatives into the political process are advanced with less and less earnestness. The result, Harper said, was that the Liberals were getting a free ride with their pervasive policies of, quote, state corporatism, devaluing the Canadian dollar, preventing the provinces from experimenting in the delivery of health care, which is illegal in this country, to trying to counter Quebec separatism by buying loyalty. These policies led to an inefficient economy, political corruption and cronyism, a limping health care system. Remember the last time I came on a show, I said the Western Toronto Hospital was built in 1983 to handle 40,000 patients.
Oh, yeah.
And today 75,000 patients a year pour into that hospital with a 5 to 8% growth rate. That's going to increase 50%. Like, they can't deal with it. We don't allow the purchase of private health care.
That's why we have to throw people into FEMA camps.
So you're supporting private health care,
and some element of it, like we need it to take relief off the overstressed public health care, because we can't sustain it. It's just not sustainable.
Well, public health care, the way it's running, is unsustainable.
And Quebec chronically depended on subsidies from the rest of Canada, $4 to $8 billion a year, by the way, which is a hell of a lot of money. And what did the opposition parties offer by contrast? More of the same. They called conservative parties. The so-called conservative parties need to figure out, and quickly, where they fit in this world. It frankly matters less whether they are 1, 2, or 3 such parties than whether one of them articulates an alternative vision. And in the machinations between the various camps, no alternative vision to the Liberals is being advanced. Without the articulation of a serious alternative vision, the Liberal Party is where a number of their followers will soon begin to go away. And it will not matter whether or not the Liberal one-party state is desirable. People will cross any bridge they find. And the Liberals got destroyed in the last election with only 35 seats, down from 120 in the last 4 elections. So this proves that actually happened, because this book was written 6-7 years ago, and that's what happened last 2 years. So this is, this predicted what would happen. That's why it's such a great book. It was a master class and political analysis, probably not the plumber's usual convention fare. The speech was exerted in several newspapers, and it added to the speculation about his return to politics to replace Day, Stockwell Day, of course. A month earlier, Harper had sent a message to the old reformers through a Calgary Sun column that attacked federal official languages policy as a state religion, with criticism treated as hearsay. His provocative heading, quote, "Official bilingualism, the god that failed," end quote. He attacked the policy on two grounds. It was untrue to the real country, and Quebec rendered it inequitable by repressing English. Real bilingualism in Canada is quite geographically isolated. And if you look at, what is it? It's two provinces are bilingual in this country. A little bit Ontario. 2.2% of our province speaks French as a first language. Quebec, obviously, which is about 79%. And there's one more province, New Brunswick. 27.94, 209,000 out of the 751,000 people in New Brunswick speak French. Those are the only three provinces where it's above 2%. Every other province, it's less than...
But there are entire towns in Alberta even that are Francophone towns.
Let's look at Alberta.
I know, but you know, there are towns that are Francophone towns.
There's 24,000 people that speak French. There's 24,000 people that speak French in Alberta, or 0.68% of the population. It's not even 1%. And bilingual people in Alberta is 0.14%.
But 100%
under 5,000 people. But so that's not true either, Hugh.
Right. But what I'm saying is this: getting back to before you read the quotes from the book, is that. You ever heard the saying, "Don't shoot the messenger"? Right? Are you the messenger of the stats here, or are you trying to say that you want to convey this to the Canadian public, that bilingualism is dead, that it shouldn't exist in the country, or are you just giving us the facts of the percentages of where the language is spoken?
I'm trying to show that it is dead, because the newspapers said things like bilingualism stall, census data. They're like beating around the bush with politically correct lingo. It's not.
You know what? Okay, could I just make a little point here? I don't know if you guys read that book, Two Solitudes, in high school.
I've heard of it. I've heard of the name of it.
It's a book. I forget who wrote it.
Did Trudeau write it?
No, it's a novel. Okay, and I forget who wrote it, but it's an English Canadian wrote it. But basically, it's about how the fact that we have two languages in this country. The country is based on two languages, but when you get right down to it, the book is saying the same thing you're saying, Shawn, in essence, that despite our best efforts to try to create a country with two languages, two founding languages, you have a French-speaking world over here, and you have an English-speaking world over here.
Absolutely.
And the amount of intercourse, I mean that in the broad sense, Sandra.
Interaction?
If you were asking, the amount of actual intercourse between the two cultures and languages is tragically small.
Yeah, in Quebec and New Brunswick, and a little bit in Ontario.
So then is it worth spending all that money?
Yeah, billions of dollars
on everything that's half French, like even, Donna's book, it's, half French, half, English or something. I don't know, maybe not, but whatever.
So let me finish. Real bilingualism in Canada is quite geographically isolated. Most francophones actually live in French unilingual regions of Canada, mainly in Quebec, and most anglophones live in English unilingual regions outside the province. Areas with significant numbers of both linguistic groups are almost all narrowly concentrated near the New Brunswick, Quebec, and Quebec-Ontario borders, where most generally bilingual Canadians also reside. So I showed you guys statistically that that's true.
Okay, but if we're majorly English and hardly bilingual at all, why is it every single time I go to a store and I'm looking at the shelf of the products, every single thing has the French side on? It's like 5 different rows, and it's all French.
It's because you've got bad karma.
Because, Sandra, there's 2.2% of the population that speak French as a first language, and we've been run by French leaders for 30 years.
Don't worry.
They're all shown, like the cans and the boxes, everything is the French side
I don't like it either, and it's a waste of money for corporations to do it. But
this is what I'm saying, though. You went into this thing about manufacturing, about pride, about being unified, like the melting pot that they have in the United States. Are you saying that bilingualism is responsible for the destruction of our manufacturing sector?
It's not responsible for it, but they focus so much. They actually protected Quebec's industries. They didn't sell off Bombardier, Alimentation Couche-Tard. There's a mass SNC Lavalin. They sold off English-speaking businesses. They allowed foreign companies to come in.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is that, I mean, there's a cultural thing in French culture to protect industries,
it's like
right?
the hell with the rest of us. They sold off all the steel firms.
But it's not, I don't think the government, it's just that our government, Shawn, I'm with you on this one. Our government in Ottawa does not protect Canadian industry, period, or Canadian jobs, period. Doesn't give a damn about the average Canadian, okay? But in Quebec, because of the political realities there, they have managed to preserve a lot of their the big high-tech industrial companies.
I'm renewing my passport, and I have to mail it to Gatineau, for crying out loud. It says Gatineau on the fucking envelope. Why doesn't it say Ontario?
Shawn.
Why is it in Gatineau? Why is my passport in Gatineau? Like, it's just crazy.
Do you know where Gatineau is?
I think it's in Quebec.
It's just across the river.
Yeah.
It's part of the Ottawa region.
So I noticed it on the thing, and I'm like, I just stared in disbelief. I'm like, 30 years of French rule. I guess I shouldn't have been shocked,
Okay.
But they've tried bilingualism in other countries.
But what I'm saying, aren't we supposed to, like, do you want to lose culture? Do you want to lose language? That's what I'm saying. Aren't we supposed to be creators of language and embrace our culture? That's where I'm lost.
We're not supposed to be dominated by a minority culture either. Like, we're giving people permission to use this as a doormat. Like, Quebec has used us as a doormat for 3 decades.
Isn't that the beautiful thing, though? Like, being a black person, my race has suffered a lot because we are a minority. Does that mean that because somebody's a minority that they don't have as much to say or input? That's where I'm lost.
No, but minorities should also make an effort to join mainstream society and feel like they're part of. Like, do you feel like you're Canadian?
Yeah, I very much.
For saying that. I talked to so many. My own cousins.
Canada.
My own cousins tell me they're Italian, and they weren't even born there.
But
that's what Trudeau's policies have done. Is they brainwashed an entire generation of people to affiliate their identity with the home country where their parents came from instead of the Canadian country where they might have.
Right.
After a while, you become a citizen anyway. So sooner or later, you're going to be speaking English, hopefully getting an education and making a contribution to our society.
But isn't that the great thing about Canada? We all have disagreements, but we all can agree that this is a great country. And if our country was founded by the French and then the English came, should not we preserve our own history? That's where I'm lost here. Because this is like when we talk about these numbers, they're numbers. They actually exist. We see the reality of this. But just because you see the reality and then you talk about minority and majority, in a democratic society, it doesn't mean the majority is always right. They could win the election, doesn't mean they're right because we decided that.
Oh, we know that with Bush.
Okay, they've tried bilingualism. Like, this isn't the first. Canada's not the first country to actually try bilingualism.
Right.
There's been. Do you mind if I read a quote out of the Northern Angus book?
We don't have a lot of time, Shawn. Okay. So if you could read a quick quote and then we'll wrap this up.
Of all political, this is from chapter 13, Frog in the Throat. Right. That's what the chapter's called. Of all political issues, language everywhere is far and away most explosive. Basques today are prepared to kill and die for the sake of Euskera, an arcane and quite useless language. In Russia, early in 1978, to try to preserve a language that, if anything, is even more arcane, 5,000 Georgian students demonstrated in their capital, Tbilisi, to force Soviet authorities to include Georgian as an official language of the Republic. Not since 1925, when South Africa raised Africans to equal status with English, has any Western country successfully bilingualized itself. Belgium, which until Canada started, had tried harder than anyone else, has failed abysmally. Wallonia and Flanders exist as unilateral ghettos inside which by law parents may not educate their children at the public expense of the other language. The Canadian Shield is about as uncompromising a ground as anywhere exists on which to plant a bilingual flag.
Right, but
so there's evidence that other countries have tried it. Belgium will probably separate into 2 countries quite naturally.
See, I don't want Canada to separate, but I know what you're saying.
Just quickly though, I think really what the whole bilingual issue is a byproduct of the Canadian attitude, okay? And I think what the problem is that we're kind of to the point, if a minority can control so much, it's more about the Canadian attitude being a doormat.
And I'm gonna.
It's not about not appreciating the cultures, but it's about being. We're so and we are. I mean, nobody even.
I'm going to come on the show again, and I will show you guys the new bilingualism. I've got all the numbers for these major cities.
Okay.
There's a higher percentage of people that speak Punjabi, Italian. We've given people the ability to impose their languages. Like the Tower of Babel. You guys are familiar with that story where everyone kind of wanted to get off the tower because no one spoke the same language. Everyone was on different pages. That story will be more and more true as the years pass. If Canada does not promote a Canadian identity and culture to the citizens, we're giving people weak citizenship.
Okay.
No cultural capital.
Johnny, I know you want to say things. This kind of debate that's been going on in this country since day one, and it's a debate that I hope we don't ever stop having.
Yeah, it's killing our sense of social solidarity.
Shawn, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Shawn.
I know you're going to continue your work, and we're going to be back on the show. We look forward to it. Where can people get in touch with you if they want to follow up with you?
They can email me at shawn@endofees.ca.
Shawn@endofees.ca. Okay. Shawn, thanks for doing this today.
Yeah. Thank you, Shawn.
Okay. Johnny Smash, thanks for everything you did on the show.
It was a wonderful experience. Thank you so much.
Okay. You know what? And at the end of the day, once we get to 5D, we're all telepathic. It doesn't matter with the language.
5D. Oh, yeah. I'm
going to go home and look up Black Knight. I want to touch Black Knight.
I know you do,
How did
Johnny
they do
Smash.
the test for
it's
the age?
13,000 years old.
How do they know? Did somebody actually take like a sample?
Check your research. Do a chart like that.
Google it.
But that chart there is done because of language.
Okay, we're going to
preserve language.
We're going to say bye. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next week here on Look at Lunch. See you then.
What a show.
Tell me that you need me, and I'm weak 'cause I believe you, and I'm mad because I love you, so I stop